Crazy Superman here. What is going on? Welcome to the day 6 of 28-day meditation challenge. If you can meditate 2 hours per day in the last 5 days, congratulations. You have done something really incredible. I mean, throughout history, all the rich, all the powerful, all the handsome, all the talented had tried to attain this happiness, this eternal happiness, and nobody could ever find it. People will end up in misery. The most talented one, the most handsome one will end up killing themselves. Because happiness you cannot seek from outside. The faster you are chasing the sun, the earlier you're going to die of exhaustion. Happiness is actually inside. Instead of trying to land on the moon, trying to land on the Mars, and trying to find happiness in the outer space, the happiness is not there. The happiness is inside. When you are able to sit and meditate, observing your breath, and enter this non-reaction mode, meditation mode, that's when happiness begins to come. Happiness starts to happen to you when you don't have craving. If you don't have craving, you cannot have frustration, you cannot have unhappiness. The key is looking inside, is to enter your internal nirvana, this independent happiness that doesn't depend on the external condition. Today I went to the hospital again to see my dad, and he is in a terrible state physically. First of all, there is diabetic for the last 25-30 years, and he managed it well by doing lots of exercise, burning all the extra sugar. But it's with diabetic, it's getting worse and worse over the time and slowly. Second, there is Parkinson, that slowly degeneration of the nervous system. He was having trouble to walk, having trouble to balance, and his hand keeps shaking. Then there was the surgery of the hip bones when he fall down and hit it and break the bone, and the recovery of that surgery. And then there is the lung problem, and now it just in a very, very bad state. And today, me and my father, we went to the swallowing training, like when you try to eat yourself. Because right now, they put a tube into the stomach, and then they eat through the tube. And my father is very skinny right now, extremely skinny, and it's very painful. Life can be painful, especially when we are about to die. And next to my father, there are 2 other women who is very, very old, and one of them is also very skinny. When you see people become very, very skinny, you know that the time is about to arrive. The final destination. and it's a lot of pain to see this. And how can we remove this pain in our life? I mean, before we need to die, it's better we learn how to remove the suffering. Meditation not only helping you achieve the happiness that's within you, meditation can also help us remove suffering too. Let's say I put myself in my father's situation, where I'm lying on my own deathbed and I cannot talk. My tongue can no longer move and I can no longer eat, and I'm getting my nutrition through the tube. I'm conscious, I know my name, I can feel myself, and I have no control of my hand, barely a little bit, and I cannot move my feet at all, and I'm just on my deathbed. So it is extremely painful in terms of the physical standard. But for a meditator, let's say I'm in that state, how am I going to remove the suffering? The key is not to have aversion. If you are thinking, oh, okay, I want to become well, right? There's aversion there. I want to get rid of this sickness. There's aversion there. And when you react, when you have emotion coming out, you're suffering. For a meditator in that situation, when I'm in that situation, I would be acknowledge that, okay, I'm sick, I'm feeling pain, my whole body, I cannot eat, I'm getting this nutrition from my tube. It's all very painful. I'm aware of that. And I'll bring my attention to observe my breathing. Air flowing in, air flowing out. I'm going to try to focus for 6 seconds. Air flow in, air flow out. I might get distracted. Oh my God, this is too painful. You know, I cannot stand it. Don't worry. Just become aware that I am distracted by the thought that, oh, this is too painful. And finally, bring the attention back to the breathing and realize that this pain, this body is also transient. No craving to remove this pain. And just breathe. And observing the breath. Continue. So you see, this meditation can work in any situation. And that is why every morning when you practice, every evening when you practice, you're going to get to a stage where your feet is feeling so much pain. You're going to have times when your shoulder is feeling so much pain. But then you're not reacting, right? You just acknowledge that there is a pain. You don't react. And you continue till the time is up, till timers go, then you can finish. So that's sort of the training, you know. Your mind is focused, observing the breath. Not only you'll find your internal happiness, you can remove the most difficult suffering of life. Learn to die before you die. Because you don't know when that moment would come. When you have to face a lot of physical pain. How you can remain equanimous and not reacting to the pain. In the beginning, you will always forget, like, oh, this hurts. That is fine, just become aware of it. Oh, I reacted. It's very painful. Be aware of that. And gently bring your focus, awareness to your breathing, observing your breath. Feel the air flow in, feel the air flow out. Your breath is always in the present moment. That's so precious, that's so important. Because only the present moment is the true reality. Anything in the future is a delusion. Anything in the past is already a past, it's gone, it's goodbye. Being in the present moment and have no craving, have no aversion, observing that breath. Be aware of whatever happening and flow, let it flow like water. You can be into any shape. Some really awesome situation. You got married, you make a lot of money, you have children, newborn baby, you're feeling so awesome. Some really terrible situation, you got all kinds of sickness, you're feeling terrible. And always observe your breath. And again, you are not a vegetable where you would just let people cut you, right? Rather, you can be in and out of this non-reaction state at will. And only 2 hours of training is like that. The other 16 hours, you function normal. And you don't exhaust yourself responding to everything. Rather, you are acting on the most important task. You don't feel exhausted, you have a lot of energy, and you are constantly creating. Put your energy to creating and generating and giving, generosity. Giving your effort to the world, help the world and help people around you. Giving, it gives you a very good happiness inside. So, tomorrow will be day 7, and that's 1 week of meditation challenge. It's pretty good, that's exciting. And continue the practice, that's the secret. Your strong determination must reach 1 hour. Doing nothing is actually the most difficult. Like, if you're doing something, your mind gets entertained. When you are not doing anything, just observe your breath and you free your mind. It's actually quite difficult. All kinds of craving, all kinds of pain, emotional memory, everything will come up. But that's the fun part. That's the part where you become strong. Coffee makes you smarter, but meditation makes you strong, like really strong. You can handle any situation. the most difficult situation when you have to face death. An easy situation when you have to face happiness. I mean, good things happening, making a lot of money, getting married, have a newborn baby. It's all happy, happy, happy. When we are not meditating, I mean when people are sensory overloading and not doing the reflection, not into the non-reaction, a lot of time is we have inflammation, like the media is constantly inflame your mind, like you are lack of success, you need more money, you need this holiday, you need this car, so your mind is constantly inflamed. What meditation can do is remove that inflammation, cooling it down, and then make your expectation sync with your reality. When you see the reality as it is, then you are not delusion, you are not fantasy. And when you're acting on the reality, you can be precise and correctly in making a real positive progress. So that's day 6 of Dharma Talk with the Crazy Superman. You don't have to go into a mountain, you don't have to go into some temple to be spiritual. You look like a normal person, normal job, normal spouse, and you go to work normal. The only thing different is underneath your regular clothes, you are Superman. There's an S inside of you. There's this equanimity within you. You are always very peaceful. And you're always calm no matter what the situation is. And you have this 2-hour training every day. The toughest training of the world. You are strong because you can just observe your breath and enter the non-reaction mode. That only Superman can do. Superman can do the toughest training. And it's a good training because you feel the internal happiness. Second, you can remove the worst suffering of life, which is death. Facing death is the most difficult situation.